maybe someone on YouTube doesn't know you, and will be good if we start this way. So let me finish and start the transmission on YouTube. All right, we are live on YouTube right now. Hello, guys, on YouTube. So I will start with that, and then you can follow me. All right, Lucas. So my name is
Okay.
Carlos. I'm 33 years old. I work as a software engineer to a company located in USA. And Talk and Talk changed the way I look to myself related to the English. I know my English is not perfect, but I gain much more confidence speaking English, and this is the main reason I'm here. I'm a volunteer in this community. All right. And what about you, Lucas? Can you talk a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes. My name is Lucas Croaia. I'm 27 years old. I live in São José dos Campos, São Paulo. I study method design and work in a social organization as president. And in this organization, I work with social groups that have been historically excluded from accessing basic rights. And nowadays, we are developing an application that helps in the process of rectifying the name and gender of transgender people. That's it.
All right, congratulations. You do an amazing job. It's really
Thank you.
important this kind of job. All right. Good morning, Yanka. How are you?
Morning, Carlos. Morning, guys. I'm okay, a little sleepy, but I have coffee.
All right. We are live on YouTube, and I'm asking to each one to introduce yourself. All right. Can you do that, please?
Yes, of course. My name is Bianca. I am 27 years old. I was born in Itaquera, São Paulo, but nowadays I'm living in Campinas, doing my PhD in here. I live by myself with my cat Mary and another cat that adopted me recently. I didn't him yet, but I have to do it someday. In my free time, I like to cook, to listen music, to take care of myself, my house, my plants. Things chill like that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And what about you, Daphne? Can you talk a little bit about yourself? I know we already know each other, but people on YouTube maybe doesn't know you.
Yeah, sure. My name is Daphne. I'm 28 years old. I study psychology. I live in Amsterdam. I'm married. I just adopted two cats. And I like to be here to unlock my English.
All right. All right. Thank you, guys. It's an honor to me had your presence here. Especially, I don't know where you live, guys, but today is fucking cold, 14 degrees. So thank you for your time and patience with me. So I was explaining, Yanka, because you join us later. Today we'll do an immersion related to job interview, questions related to job interview. And if we had time on the second part of the immersion, I want to practice with you guys like a job interview. I was explaining I'm not an interviewer guy. I don't work in HR department and nothing like that. But since I joined Talk and Talk, I made more than 60, mais de 60 interviews in my career. And after you do 60 interviews, you get some tricks the guys use during the interview. And I want to share some experience with you. All right. So let's start with the first question. Daphne, can you read and answer the first question, please? And after you finish, you can pick, you can choose someone to continue, please.
Yes. Do you usually do jobs interviews? How often? So in my case, I don't change jobs all the time. And I don't like to do these interviews because it's a moment where others are judging you, and I'm get very anxious and nervous. But I'm looking for to do my best, and I'm aware with clauses of the according to the occasion, and that's it. And you, Yanka?
Well, first I thought that I haven't participated in job interviews, but thinking better, I participated in two jobs interview in my career, but I am in the same field since I was 16, since 2014 or 2015. I am the same file. I am following a career path, I guess. So in this journey, I had just two job interviews, but it was like two interviews for the master and for the doctor, not in a not a company interview like that, more an academic interview, I guess. What's that? I think you are muted. But Lucas, could you please? Sorry.
Yeah, I said the same. I was asking about you, Lucas. Sorry. Thank you, Yank.
Yes, of course. Uh, I usually do about one job interview for a year. I never spend more than 12 months in a job because I like to stay in move, and when I see that I can't improve in a organization, I prefer to change and looking for a new horizon and new experience. And now I found a place to me in my organization that I don't need to do an interview anymore, but start to interview people. So I think the we have a little changes in the way I do the interviews. That's
Parece que o
it.
jogo virou, não é mesmo?
Yes.
All right, all right. Oh, okay. But so now you do some interviews, and do you know how many people you already interview in your career?
Well, I think 4 people.
Okay, okay,
I found the funded the organization in this year, so
okay,
it's really new.
okay. And how was the experience interviewing people? You get nervous just like the guys who are applying to the interview?
I don't get nervous. I was worried about the process of interview, the all experience that the people was passing through. So the worry is about the process and experience, not about interviewing the people.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for sharing your experience. Daphne, I want to ask you something before we move to other question. You say you studied psychology, all right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you already did some interviews, but I don't know if during your study in the college or in other place you get some training related to job interview. Did you had some experience related to that?
Yeah, it's depend of the personality. but the most of people feels nervous because others are judging you, or you need to be what you are not. You are not. And this situation, you need to be relaxed and try be clear, but it's not easy.
No, it's not. I asked that to you because I remember I made an interview with a psychologist to a position on Germany. It was a company located on Germany, and I take 2 hours in that interview, and psychologist asking me personal questions, just like if I were in a psychologist session, and it was a little bit strange to me, because I never had this kind of interview before. And as you can imagine, it's hard to talk with a psychologist in Portuguese because it's hard to talk about yourself. And I had to do that in English, so it was twice hard to me. I end the interview with pizza above my arm, because I get too much nervous, and the psychologist always say during the interview, please calm down. You are good. You are doing a good job. So calm down. But at the end, I didn't pass. I think it's because I get too much nervous. But it wasn't an easy experience. Okay, let's move to the third question. All right, guys, because I want to listen from you. Let's start with you, Yanka. What are some common questions asked during job interviews? I know you did twice, but do you remember which questions they asked to you?
Yes, I remember, but hearing my colleagues that had a lot of job interviews, I know some common sense, like which animal do you would like to be, this kind of thing. Or I don't know if it is so dumb, but another is three qualities that you have and three defects. I don't know if you had this kind of question, but in my field, in the area that I am working, uh, normal question is to you talk about your project. Usually, when you get in the master or in the doc, you have to submit a project. So usually you have to talk about it to the question that you are researching, objectives, methodology, things like that. Is the praxe in the job interviews in the academia, I guess.
All right. Yeah. It I think it's easier to talk about the subject we are researching than talk about kind of animal you desire to be. Actually, I remember someone already asked that to me in an interview, and I don't remember with bullshit I answer, but it's a long time people don't ask me that. So, but it was funny to remember. And what about you, Lucas? Do you remember some common questions people ask to you, or maybe you want to ask to someone?
About the questions they made me, I always heard about what is my experience in job, education, if I had mm, some kind of different differential about my journey, anything that I do that make me happy. Some achievements that I have in my years working, and usually they ask it by my my origins, because I'm native, I'm indigenous, and people usually get interested about this. So it it have some questions about it too, and about my interviews that I do. I also ask about the experience and what the people like to do in their day, in their life. What is the thing that makes them they happy, and what they looking for in the life. So that's it.
All right, really interesting, you know. Sometimes can be awkward, can be estranho if people ask you personal questions, but since you share with us about yourself, maybe people can get curious, you know, about
Yes.
the way you live and other things like that. But yeah, thank you. And what about you, Daphne? Do you know some common questions people ask during job interviews?
Yes, usually they question me about my goals, what is my goals, if I have some questions, how much I want to earn, and what is my skills, for example.
All right, that's good questions, you know, really uh objective, you know. I like if an interview had this kind of question, you know, direct to the point, because those other questions can be hard to answer, you know. What do you think you could be if you did not make your college? Tipo, o que que você seria da vida se você não tivesse feito a faculdade? I don't know, you know. I don't spend time imagining suppositions about my life, but maybe the interviewer, I like to think that way, you know, maybe the interviewer has a reason to ask me that. So I will try to do my best answering and being trying to be myself and not pretend to be someone else, you know, like a fake guy or something like that. Okay, let's move to the question. Let me check. Okay, let jump to the question number 5. Lucas, can you read the question number 5, please?
Yes. How do you prepare to answer questions about your strengths and weaknesses? Well, I'm mapping my strengths and weaknesses before these questions, and I think that is something that I do usually to see my improvements in a lot of questions in my life. So I usually do this mapping.
Okay, but you had preparing your mind a way to answer that, all right?
Yes.
Okay, and which are your best quality you can share with us, please?
Mm, empathy. I know that is a lot of questions about empathy, and we can't be the other person and feel the other person, but we are community beings. Like, we share a lot of experience, and I exist because you exist, and we share visions that uh, we can see reality across this change of information. So empathy exists between these changes.
All right, really. Interesting, and I totally agree with you related to the empathy, because I think nowadays the world need much more people thinking this way, if we put ourselves in the other one place, we will had a better world for sure in everything, in our work, driving in when oh sorry if you are driving the traffic and someone do something wrong to you, maybe I always like to think this way, I don't know with what that guy is passing through, so let me try to put myself in his place. I think it's a good way to think,
Yes, we need to share love.
yeah, exactly. And what about you, Yanka? Question number 5. How do you prepare to answer questions about your strengths and your weaknesses?
This question is a famous question, so I think that we all have more or less prepared the answer in your head. So I try to mature my ideas, just what I am already thinking about, and just say. I think I never had to answer this question actually.
But
So
uh, maybe you already thinking about that. If someone asked that to me, what do you answer? So what is the worst part of you, Yanka? What is your weaknesses?
my weakness is anxiety. I am really anxious person, a really anxious person. Sometimes this is good, sometimes this is bad. But in the better way, I can adiantar my deadline sometimes because of my anxiety. It's a bad point, but I try to tell this, maybe showing a good point, a good way. I don't know if this is a good strategy to interviews. But a second one, I don't know. I will have to think better about it. Sorry, Carlos.
No problem. Actually, I was thinking, who is not anxious in this world we live, I think everyone had some kind of ansiedade at some point. And I like the way you answer, because I learned it's more important the way you sell yourself, to other one than uh, actually what you are saying. So you can say I'm an anxious person in both ways, like something really bad. Oh, I'm so anxious about my life. I don't know, maybe if I will be hired to this position. So I get the anxious about that. And you can say, oh, I'm an anxious person, like you say, but I try to use this to prevent and don't lose the deadlines that I have. So I think it's really important when you sell yourself, during a job interview. You can use the good parts you have and the bad parts you have about yourself and try to sell or try to give a good impression to the interviewer. I think this way because if people hire you to do something, they will hire you the best qualities you have and the worst qualities you have. So they need to understand how this can help them. All right. And what about you, Daphne? How do you prepare to answer those questions about your strengths and your weaknesses?
Usually I have the answers in my head and I prepare my mind to think what I will say. But you never say something that will that you will take out your value for the opportunity. You not to be very sincere because you can lose that opportunity.
Yeah, I understand what you say, you know. I don't think it's kind of a lie, but you can choose what you want to expose to other one. Not only in a job interview, you know, talking in general in our relationships with other person, you can choose what you want to open to other person to know about you. And thinking about that, it's really important to say, you know, if people ask you why you want to change the company you are working, and you can be sincere because I want to earn more money. Come on, guy. But you can say that, you know, you had to say because I'm looking to other opportunity and blah blah blah. So it's true, actually. I want to change and I want a new challenge. I'm not being a liar, I think, but it's not the main point, you know. So you, again, I think you had to thinking in a in the way you want the other one look to you and thinking about you. All right, guys. So now we will change a little bit our conversation, you know. So from this point, I want you think I'm an interviewer, okay? I'm not a student I'm not a student anymore. I'm an interviewer guy, and you are applying to a job interview. Forget there is other persons, you know, in the room. Let's imagine it's only you and me, okay? And thinking in that, so we are trying to simulate this job interview, okay? And so I will read you the question number 7, and I will ask to someone to answer to me just like you are in a job interview, okay? So prepare your minds to be a job interview right now. From this point, imagine you are in an interview. Answer the questions as if you are looking for the best job opportunity to work abroad that you have ever seen in your life. So, eu vou dizer em português para ficar claro para todo mundo. Então, imagine que você está fazendo a entrevista de emprego dos seus sonhos. Você achou a vaga dos seus sonhos e eu sou o entrevistador dessa vaga dos seus sonhos, ok? So I want you, Yanka, talk in less than 2 minutes about you and your preview experiences. Can you talk about your career and your preview experience, please?
Okay, it's really difficult this exercise, but let's try. Well, good morning. Thanks for having me for this opportunity. My name is Bianca. I am graduated in sociology, and in there I had contact with demography that makes data analysis and a theoretic approach about the society. So I analyze the society in a quantitative way and a qualitative way. I try to do that. During my graduation and master, I made some projects with my supervisor. The first one, it was about bullying. The second one, it was about education and labor market. And since then, I am working with these two concepts, education and labor market, using sociology and data analysis to research about the society. How much time I have? I don't know, I'm sorry, I lost myself. But well, since then I have working, I have participated in some congress, having contact with different approach in my area, and I hope that I can contribute with your company and have contributions also from the company to my career, like growth together, you know. I don't know, Carlos, it was that. You are on mute.
It was good. Don't I say you are a job interview. You can't ask me if how many time or how much time do you have, you know. But I will give my thoughts to myself before Lucas participate. All right. So Lucas, let's think you are in a job interview. You know, the best job you ever seen. So talk about your preview experience, please, and your career.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Lucas Croaya. I'm 27 years old. I worked in many jobs and many areas, and I I prefer to do jobs in a way of thinking. I I get nervous.
So you are
Uh,
in a job interview. It's normal to get
I'm in a
nervous.
job interviews. I don't prepare for this, but I I worked as project manager, and well, I don't know how to do this part.
You can say in
Mm,
Portuguese if you prefer, but if you can say in English, it's not a problem too.
I will try in English.
Okay,
I
go
need to.
ahead.
I work as project manager in a startup that developed a CRM application, and in this in this startup, I managed 33 projects simultaneously, and this was uh, a very hard part of my life because I need to improve myself, looking for new ways to do things, and manage it. A squad of 7 people were difficult when you have 33 projects to do. So when I think about it, all my experience before helps me to do the job and looking for
All
new
right.
ways
Thank you,
to.
Lucas. Thank you. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
yeah, can be rude, you know. I know can be rude because people already did that to me. But if you talk too much, so this is the way I want to share my experience with you. The interview can interrupt you. They doesn't wait till you finish your answer. So that can hurt, you know. I remember when people do that to me. So right now I'm trying to get empathy to you. So I understand your feeling, you know. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but can be
You
hard.
don't. You don't.
But this is the reason we had to be prepared to an interview, you know, to get quick answers, you know. If the interviewer give you 2 minutes, of course you can use 2 minutes, but it's hard to measure the time in your mind, you know. You don't have a watch or chronometer in front of you. So if you give shorter answers, you'll be easier to don't be interrupted, you know, because you want to say something and you want to be clear. You want to explain something to the other person. And if you are interrupted in the middle, maybe some important information will be not sent by you. So you had to be prepared to give quick answers, you know, and going direct to the point. So other thing I want to share with you, it's related to what you do with your hands, you know, during the interview. You had a good Lucas, you had a good, in my point of view, of course, I'm not a professional guy, but some people already told that to me. If you are doing an interview, it's important to don't bite your nails or coçar a cabeça and so your hands is important to get down. So I saw you did that. So congratulations. And to you,
Thank you.
Yanka, I don't know if you are there or not. I saw you were a little bit nervous during this question, so it's normal. And this is the reason I want to bring that experience in our immersion, because I know can be hard if you are doing an interview in Portuguese or in English. We need to handle with our anxiety and the nerves we get during this process. So it's important to stay calm and don't do things like that. I think there is an expression. How can I say? Expressão corporal. Your body expression during the interview, it's really important. And a guy from England say that to me. I was doing the interview and I was too much nervous and I was doing this and that and a lot of hands in my face during the interview. And at the end of the interview, he told me that, "Oh, you will not pass in this interview because I realize you are too much nervous during the interview." And a personal advice, he said that to me. It's a personal advice as a interviewer. Don't do that. So uh, I try to apply that, and I realize I get more confident. I get more confidence after that. Peguei mais confiança depois que ele me falou aquilo. Okay, so let's jump to the question number 8. All right, so we are still in this process. You are being still interviewed, guys. So, Yanka, what is the most interesting project you have worked, and what accomplishment are you most proud of? What is the best part of your career?
The best part. Okay, recently I worked in a project. We were studying the motive that young women and men wasn't studying and working, nem trabalhando e nem estudando. And we were analyzing the motivation that this person gave to us. And it was a really nice project. We could see some patterns that women in general stop to work and study because have to take care of others, children or old people in the house. And men usually stop to study to really work, not, stop studying to work. So these two different patterns. And this project was important because with this project, I could go to international conference with demographers to present this work. And it was really nice to receive all the comments about this job and improve this project after all.
All right. And what about the results you get from this project? Which part you did and the results. There is something you can measure, and at the end of this research, what do you discover?
I worked in the whole methodology part, modeling the data, doing this kind of statistic approach. And the results showed that we have inequalities between Black and white women. Black women usually are in this place of not work and not studying than white women. And about let me see another good result. And about region of the Brazil also, we have a high percentage of neném in the north and northeast of the country, and less percentage in the south and southern Sudeste. So there are inequality between regions in the country that we have to look for and to research more, I guess.
Okay. And at the end of the project, you get some results as you share with us. And but there is some idea or some how can I say some way to fix or to change that? Did you think about that?
Yes, we thought about that and we work with public policy. So all this question, it was to base public policy to take care of these people. So one of the way it was to think about ways to maintain these young people, these young part of the society into the school, first of all, and then prepare these people to get in a good job positions, not just go to the job positions without complete the scholar all the education, until the ensino médio. So to work in have more prepared and qualified young to the labor force. But we have to think how to maintain this person into the school. So some strategies to think about it.
All right, it was a good press. Congratulations. And if I will, if I had the opportunity to work with, it was something for sure I get proud of myself. So congratulations. And what about you, Lucas? What is the most interesting project you have worked? Maybe I was thinking you can answer. It's the one you are doing right now, but I want to listen that from you. What accomplishments are you most proud of in your career?
I worked in a place that we save some animals. Uh, Usually we save the birds, native birds in Brazil. So we do a lot of jobs of education with the society around that place because it was in the rainforest in South São Paulo. And we do a job to introduce these specimens in the nature again. So we we do a job with biologists that we I don't know how to say enriquecimento ambiental that that make the birds learn to live in the nature again because when they was trapped in jails they lose the way to live again in nature. So we need to do some exercise with them to release them again to nature. So when we do this and release more than 100 birds to the nature again, uh, it was very special to me and the people who was working with me.
All right, congratulations for your job. It's really interesting. Actually, uh, this part I will the part I'm talking right now, it's Carlos, is not the interviewer, I had some experience like that in the past because I was a police officer and I got some situations of people hunting birds, and you had beautiful birds in our country. And for me, there is no reason to someone to maintain a bird in a jail. So I got those guys to the prison, and I got proud of myself to do that.
Thank you for
And
your job.
yeah, I got really happy with this prison. And when I give the birds to Ibama, it was really nice to me. A good feeling inside my heart, because I had some friends who cultivam animals in their house, birds, to sell, and it's legal. The birds they sell, it's legal. And when I go to their home and I saw many birds, I can't understand, and I say to him, if you are not with me right now, I will release all those birds. I know they can't live in the nature by themselves, but my heart was saying to me, freedom to these birds.
Yeah, it's very important. It hurts so much for me seeing animals in locket. So thank you for your job again.
Yeah. It was being a police officer is not a fun job, but there is some parts of that job I really enjoy. So that was one part. Okay, guys. So we are getting close to the end of our conversation, but I want to try a final question with you guys. Okay. Um, Actually, it's a question. It's really common. People ask to you. The question number 9. Lucas, what are you looking for this job opportunity? What is wrong with your actual job? Why you want to change your job? You
Well,
can you
I
can pretend, if
yeah.
you are in an interview.
Well, I'm always looking for new ways to do things, new experiences, new challenges. So I see that I do all I want in my actual job, and I see that I don't have any space to improve myself. So that's why I'm looking for an improvement in my career. That's
Okay,
it.
that's a good answer. Congratulations. And what about you, Yanka? What you are looking for a new job opportunity? What is wrong with your actual job? So please, thinking you are in an interview.
Okay, well, I am looking not for any job opportunity, but for this one job opportunity. I want this position because makes sense in my career path. I plan to apply to this job position. I prepared myself to do this. And it's nothing wrong with my actual job, but I feel that I need more desafios, challenges in my career. I'm prepared for this new challenge, and I have prepared myself during all my career to pass through these opportunities, to contribute and have contributions from these opportunities. So yeah, I think it's that more or less.
All right, you give a really good answer. And actually, in my job, it's really common. People ask me that, why you want to change the company you are working? Because I work with IT, and people on LinkedIn are always sending job opportunities, in my inbox. And actually, the last year, it we are getting. I'm getting a lower quantity of messages about that, but it still happen. But during the pandemic, oh my God, 10, 12 messages per day, and a lot of them I ignore. But it's since you apply to a job, people ask that too, why you want to change? And of course, the first thing came to my mind is, man, you asked me to do this interview with you. You had to say why I had to work with you and not the opposite. But usually I give the same answer than Yanka. I'm pretty happy with my job. I don't want to change, but since I saw your company, I realized it's a good company to work with, and this bring me a desire to apply to this job, and maybe we can grow up together, because it's always important to me to keep growing. I don't want to be the same guy for 2, 3, 4 years, I like to evolve myself, and this is the pattern I use to answer that, you know, because it's true. I don't like to be the same guy. I like to learn. I like to evolve. I like to. I'm not a coach guy, you know, but I think you can be the best version of yourself, you know. Coach use these phrases. Coaches usually use those phrases, but it's a truth to me, you know, because I know I can improve myself. We are always improving ourselves. Our English skills. You are doing this immersion today because you want to improve your English skills. You want to improve your communication skills. You want to learn because the world changed so fast. You had to be prepared to other situations in your life. All right, guys. Before we finish, I will close the YouTube transmission.